Val Stonehold flipped the loop down over her face, then peered through the magnifying lens at the delicate piece of jewelry mounted on the workbench. It gleamed under the bright light, details exquisite. The slender curve of gold from the Avalonian spine, the row of tiny sapphires decorating the small hoop, and the pea-sized gold-plated setting dangling from it. The hoop was pure gold, but Val made the setting from steel for a good reason. Gold didn't respond to her magic the way iron did. She focused on the empty setting. Gold conducted magic, and her power passed effortlessly through the thin layer to penetrate the steel. Iron atoms pushed against their carbon counterparts, and a tiny indentation appeared in the setting. Val didn't look away from the loop. Her iron senses showed her where to find her tweezers. She used them to grip a tiny object and raised it to the loop. The thing was smaller than a grain of rice, but through her loop, its complexity boggled her mind. She had no idea how computers worked, yet she recognized the tiny wires and slots as having something to do with them. There was more to the chip, though, since a faint blue glow surrounded it. Troll magic. Val grinned. "Here goes nothing, dude." The massive red-furred dog lying at her feet raised his head when he heard her voice. His tail thudded on the floor. Val leaned close. The indentation reshaped itself as she lowered the chip into it. The steel and gold seamlessly closed around the chip, which glowed brighter as it drew magic from the sapphires in the hoop. "Almost done." She grabbed the final component, a small round sapphire, and held it below the loop to examine the delicate runes she'd inscribed on the surface. Etching them into the gemstone, which, given its hardness of 9, was almost like etching a diamond, hadn't been easy. They pulsed with blue magic as Val gently pressed the sapphire into its setting and used a burnisher and a touch of magic to keep it there. She straightened her back, exhaling, and flexed her neck left and right. "I can see why Dad told me making jewelry was too fiddly for him, Shadow." The dog whined. Val tucked the earring into a velvet box beside its twin. She smiled at her work and rubbed Shadow's ribs with her toe. He rolled onto his belly, letting her massage the skin with her bare foot. She tilted the box to admire the sapphire's fire and brilliance in the light from the forge that burned low in the corner of the smithy. The ample, quiet space contained rows of pigeonholes for jewelry parts, long racks for weapons and tools, and various anvils. "A few tests, and we're good to go," Val murmured. Her phone's chime made her and Shadow both jump. Val lowered the box and had to hunt for her phone in the debris on the workbench for a few moments before she found it and smiled at the caller ID. "Dad." She raised the phone to her ear. "Hey, Dad." "Little spark," Froda Stonehold boomed. "It's always wonderful to hear your voice." Val closed her eyes. Her father's voice wrapped around her like a hug. She hadn't seen him in a few months, and longing swept over her with unexpected force.